First of all, congratulations to Coach Kelly. I mean, what a football game. We told our players before the game that was going to be a SEC heavyweight fight that was going to come down to the fourth quarter, and it absolutely did. Certainly want to thank our fans. What a day in Columbia. I mean, it was awesome. We were watching everything at the hotel this morning, or I was in my hotel room, and gave me chills watching the crowd at game day and seeing the energy they brought and throughout the game. I mean, what a statement about this university, this fan base, Columbia, South Carolina, the state of South Carolina as well. So it was a great day from that standpoint. Proud as heck of our team. I mean, that was a back-and-forth game, and in the end, they made one more play than we did. It's a great group of fighters in that LSU locker room to go down 17-0 on the road and battle back. There were some great – told our guys all week, it's two great teams going at it, and I still believe that. A lot of great players on both teams. There's no question about it, and a lot of guys made some great individual plays, and I want to apologize to our fans. 13 penalties. You're not going to win football games in the SEC with 13 penalties. I don't know if I've ever seen 2 defensive touchdowns come back because of penalties, and not just the defensive penalties. I know those are the ones you guys are going to ask about, but offensively, big plays that came back because of receivers blocking downfield when we shouldn't be, or linemen downfield, or quarterback scrambles on an RPO, and just we got to be better there, and that starts with me as the head football coach. From a penalty standpoint, we've been a disciplined group, and it's disappointing too because in our team meeting yesterday afternoon, we have a team meeting every Friday afternoon where we just talk about situational football and teams across the country. Great examples of teams doing what they're supposed to do, and bad examples of teams not doing what they're supposed to do, and that was the bulk of yesterday's meeting is playing clean football and not getting into any of the post-whistle stuff, which we didn't get into any of the post-whistle stuff. I mean, it was a clean game from that standpoint, but way too many self-inflicted mistakes, and give LSU credit. It's a great football game. Questions?
Shane, I know you can't say much, but, on the 2 defensive touchdowns, Whiteback, did you see something that would justify the flags?
I think the first one with O'Donnell, they said it was, a horse collar on the quarterback. Coaches up top told me that they thought he just grabbed the shoulder pad and pulled him down, but the referee, Jason, he's fantastic, and he told me that he was absolutely certain that when we hit the quarterback that it was a horse collar. So if he said it, I'm sure it happened. And then the one at the end with Nick, I watched it. I mean, anytime there's an interception, we tell our guys, find the quarterback and make sure we get him blocked. And it wasn't, it wasn't vicious by any stretch of the imagination, but it's one of those situations. If you're the referee in that situation, it's right in front of you. I mean, I watched it because I looked for the quarterback and I saw it, and can't put ourselves in that position.
What do you say to your team? Like, what's your message to them after a heartbreaker like that?
I told them that I'm proud as heck of them. They just kept coming. We put our defense in some tough situations today, and our offense got put in some tough situations, obviously with some injuries. We made a lot of really good plays today. I mean, we're going to go back and look at this tape. I mean, there's a lot of really good performances, I think, offense, defense, and special teams. And I just told them that we play smart football. There's 5 things that it's in our team meeting room, and 5 things that we talk about how we win football games around here, and playing smart football is one of them. And we just didn't do a great job of that today. So I told them that we've obviously – it's in this league, man, it's a thin line between winning and losing, and when you have 13 penalties, more often than not, you're going to be on the wrong side of that. But I also told them that I thought we got better this week. I mean, I thought for as dominant as we were in a lot of ways in Lexington last week, we got better in some ways this week, particularly offensively. And just told them that we got to go right back to work. and then I'm going to do a better job for them, for sure. But we got to play smarter football. But at the same time, every goal that we have as a football team is still in front of us. And we were a very confident team going into this game. We're a very confident team coming out of this game. Every goal that we have is still right there in front of us if we can continue to get better. But that's an LSU team that's going to win a lot of football games this season that many people think is a playoff type team. And we just went toe-to-toe with them and fell a little bit short.
Obviously, Lenoris went out there. It seemed like he was really trying to get back. What was the talks with him on the sideline about whether he was going to play or not, and what's his status right now?
He's got a little bit of an ankle sprain. I think he's going to be fine. I went in the training room at halftime, and they were checking his ankle out and just thought it was an ankle sprain, and he wanted to try and go. And so we taped him up. And the first possession of the second half where we were backed up, we didn't feel great about him being in that position backed up, so that's when we put Robbie in. And then the next series, we said, let's just give it a shot. Maybe Lenoris will get out there and the adrenaline will kick in and he'll feel okay. But there was one play there where he was in, and we ran a play to the left over there towards LSU's sideline, and we should have pulled it because the end crashed down and hit Rocket in the backfield. And when he didn't pull it, not that he didn't pull it because he couldn't run, but we just felt like, if he's not going to be able to move like he wants to move, we'll get him out. So that was really the conversation. Just felt like Robbie gave us a better opportunity because Lenoris certainly wasn't 100% there in the second half.
Shane, can you walk us through the decision to melt the clock there at the end and go for the field goal?
Yeah, that's what you mean on the third down play right there.
Right at the end of the game.
Instead of
running another play or two.
Yeah, we had to burn the timeout on another penalty, the false start, because that's going to be a 10-second runoff. So that was tough because now we're down to one timeout, and we were in field goal range. We told Robbie that on the second down play, and certainly I was thinking, okay, we'd love to get 2 plays in before the fourth down kick, but when that play finished ended on whatever play there was, the play before the field goal, I was just concerned about getting up there and something happening where we go backwards and don't get in field goal range, if that makes sense. So I mean, hindsight being 20/20, yeah, you try and run one more play right there because you have a timeout, but also thought it wasn't like it was 20 seconds and we got our backup quarterback in there, and we were down a couple receivers too because Jared Brown was out at that point, and just felt like we're in field goal range. We have confidence in Alex, and let's I certainly wanted to be aggressive, but let's be smart right here and kick the field goal.
I know it's hard without seeing the film, but can you assess Robbie Ashford's play as he came in the second half and the offense overall when he came in?
Yeah, I was proud of him. I thought he did a great job. I told him before that last drive that this is going to be one heck of a story when we go down here and score a touchdown and kick a field goal, and almost was, but thought he was very poised, showed great leadership, had some nice runs. I mean, the 2-minute drive there at the end was really big. Thought he did some really good stuff, and was proud of Robbie the way that he came in and handled it. And he's in there apologizing to the team for not getting Alex in better field position to kick that field goal. That's just kind of the kid he is. But I've said all along we've got multiple quarterbacks, and you guys saw it today.
On the final drive, was there any thoughts during that drive of maybe taking at least one shot at the end zone?
No, there was. I mean, some of the plays, I can't remember everything we had called on that drive, but certainly, I mean, there's plays where we always have, deeper routes, but we knew we just needed to get in field goal range, and we felt like we needed to get to the 35-yard line to be in field goal range. So, we had plays called that are certainly shots downfield and on that drive, and I think the first one was, and Robbie, made some runs and took what the defense gave him.
Shane, how do you go about cleaning up these penalties? I know it's easier said than done, but I mean, 13 is a pretty big number, as you alluded to.
Yeah, like we always do, we try and educate our guys on them and just be smarter. A lot of them, Jack, can just come from, getting lined up the right way and executing, and that starts with us as coaches, and some of those were, RPO type plays that the quarterback scrambled, and then you're going to have linemen blocking downfield on some of those, but got to go back and look at it, and obviously do an even more of a job of emphasizing it. We've been pretty good around here about penalties and not having a lot of them, and we weren't today.
I got a couple. One, what was your overall assessment of your defense today? Kept you in the game for a lot of it, but just kind of that. And two, is there an update on TJ Sanders?
Yeah, I think TJ should be fine. He's got a little bit of a foot injury. Defensively, like everybody, we just weren't quite good enough today. They have an explosive offense. There's no question about it, and the quarterback's gritty and tough, and they have some big time receivers. It's the best group of offensive linemen and receivers that we've played here in a while, going back to last year, and they showed it today. Like I said at the beginning, Alan, there's a lot of really big time individual performances today, and their offense had a lot of them, and we did some really good things today as well, but just too many yards.
If you could walk us through the week in terms of the conversation with Lenoris about the goggles and contacts and how that decision transpired, and also another fumble for him today. When is ball security a concern for him?
Ball security is already a concern. We talk about it all the time, and we've got to be better back there because we put our defense in a bad position. We don't, all of a sudden start preaching it today, but we obviously haven't done a good enough job of preaching it. We got hit in the backfield twice, and that's what we talked about going into this game because of Coach Baker, their defensive coordinator, that's been at Missouri. That's his MO, and we couldn't have those type plays. As far as the goggles, there really wasn't much of one. They told me on Tuesday or Wednesday that he was going to try out some contacts. I went to him at practice, and I said, hey, bud, you be you. I know there's a picture floating around on social media of your goggles, and you can't see. Don't do this just because you think you're supposed to. And he's like, I'm not, and I just wanted to try contacts. And we've had his vision tested with the goggles from the side, so that's not an issue. We're not going to put a quarterback out there that can't see out the side. We've had all that tested, and you'd have to ask him. He said he wanted to wear contacts. I said, okay, cool.
In that third quarter, LSU ran 25 plays. You guys only ran 6. What type of effect do you think that had on your defense and maybe some tackling issues that you might have had in that quarter?
Yeah, great question. A lot. Field position was a struggle, and I told our guys starting the second half, I think at halftime our defense had only played 30 plays, so we should have been extremely fresh and ready to go play, but certainly they were out there a lot in the third quarter. We weren't out there a lot offensively, and give LSU credit for that. The third quarter was big, and I think we were winning going into the fourth quarter, and that's what's disappointing today is our record when we score first, our record when we are leading at halftime, and our record when we're leading going into the fourth quarter has been lights out around here, and we led going into the fourth quarter, even though they scored on the first play. We led going into the fourth quarter. We led at halftime, and we scored first, and just couldn't finish. But that third quarter was big, just field position wise, and kind of taking momentum back a little bit there.
Shane, obviously you do have a game next week, and then the bye week. Is there one point of emphasis besides penalties this week? How did you feel about the play calling, the defensive response, anything like that?
Yeah, I think you look at the tape, David, and there'll be a lot to correct, like any game. There was a lot to correct after the Kentucky game as well. Obviously, we got to clean up a lot, but there's a lot to build up on as well, and we all got to be better, starting with me and offense, defense, special teams. Okay, thank you all.